An author and a speaker, a leader in the clinical marketplace, and a best friend for life. They're all here on this program. Elizabeth Flores, Mary Jordan, and Estella Baker. You're gonna love this. All right here on Soul Purpose. Author and speaker Elizabeth Robinette Flores has tons of information that she's dying to share with you. You're going to glean from that, and I just know you're going to be blessed.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Flores. I was born and raised in Princeton, West Virginia. I was the second child of 3 girls to my mother and father. When I was 8 years old, my parents divorced, which turned our world upside down. I was born and raised up in the Princeton Church of God in Princeton, West Virginia. My mom had an affair, and we were really involved in the ministry in the church, so it just turned our life upside down. After that, my mom had met another guy, and she had a baby by him, and he passed away in a car accident, and after that, my mom was never the same. And she kind of went over the hill and got into some things that were pretty scary situations for us. She got involved with a bunch of different men, and put herself in some situations, and then she had 2 kids by another man that was very abusive and put her in the hospital and was very abusive to us. During this whole time after my parents' divorce, I was being molested by a family member. I remember being told to not tell anybody, and so I had to live with this, and I had to go to school and everywhere with a fake smile. I had to act like nothing was ever wrong. And so this was bottled up inside of me, and I just wanted to find my own identity because I couldn't be real. I couldn't be me. I couldn't express my feelings or anything. Everything stayed inside, so I never learned how to talk to anyone about things. And so later on in life, I went to Lee University and moved to Cleveland, Tennessee, and it's where I met my husband. Life was still never easy. We were young. I was 20, he was 17. I just wanted to find love. That was all. I just thought that would fix all my problems from the molestation and everything. And so I jumped into this marriage, and he was not a Christian. He was an atheist, and so I dealt with that, and he did get saved by the grace of God about 1.5 years after we were together. We have 7 beautiful children, actually 8. But I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But we have 7 beautiful living children, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, although it has been a very rocky road. So my husband took it very hard, and it became a blame game, which is a very dangerous thing to do in a marriage. And he had said to me one day, we're running down the road, well, it's your fault she passed away because you were on those pills I didn't want you to be on. I was on some weight loss pills that we argued and fought over, and I didn't realize I was pregnant until I'd already been taking them for 2 or 3 months. And so he felt like that's what caused her to pass away, be born with heart failure. So when he did that, I just wanted to get back at him, so I started playing the game saying that you stressed me out, it's the reason why I lost her. And so by 2008, we had fought so much that he had left me for another woman and had an affair. So after that, I just prayed and gave it to God, and I remember fasting for 3 months. I lost 100 pounds in 3 months, laying on my face fasting in my living room for God to bring him back home and fix my marriage. I did not want a broken home. I knew how that felt as a child to be in a broken home, and I did not want that for my children. And I'd seen my kids lay at night and cry and pray that Jesus would bring their mom and dad back together. So he was gone, I guess, about 6 months, and after that, he came home, and we went through a lot of counseling and got back in church, and things have been great since. We have had problems. I lost my mom unexpectedly February of 2016. My dad, May, unexpectedly 2016. My husband ended up in the hospital from July to December. And so, yes, we've had a lot of trials hit us, but as far as our marriage goes, it's been a lot better. That's just a summary of my life. Okay, so what led me to write was, when I was a child, I loved writing. I would enter every writing competition there was. And writing, I just love to express myself on paper. And my husband could be sitting in the same room and I will write him a letter, like a 2-page letter. I just love writing. And when I was little, nobody ever knew that about me other than, family members always knew that I wrote for competitions and stuff. But there has been so many times people that knew nothing about me would come up to me from a young child all through my teenage years, and even as an adult, even at Dwelling Place Church in the last 4 years. Several people have said, you're going to write a book and you're going to reach people, hurting people because of everything you've been through. And that just settled, it was like, I thought, God, is this you? Because I've heard it over and over and over all my years. And I got a phone call from my cousin, which owns a publishing company in Charlotte, North Carolina. And she goes, I want you to, she says, I don't know why, but God told me that you are to co-author Resilience in the Storm with me. And I was on my way to Dwelling Place Church to drop my kids off for dance practice, and I could not even keep driving. I was screaming from this text message at the red light in front of the YMCA. And I remember the excitement I felt because I knew it was God. It just, it connected with my spirit. And I was like screaming. I couldn't wait to get to the church parking lot to text her back. And I remember it being so exciting. And so that is what led me to write. And now I'm in love with writing. I've wrote 4 books in a year. I would say, to me, it's a ministry. So it's just like if Christy or somebody's getting up to preach, they pray and they prep and they get in the Word. I stay in the Word. I stay in the Word. I pray, I prep, because that's my ministry. That's how I reach people. It might not be in a pulpit preaching, but that's my ministry.
For more information on Soul Purpose, go to www.blankenshipministries.org. If you would like more information on being a sponsor of Soul Purpose, call 304-922-2620 or email soulpurposebroadcast@gmail.com, subject line sponsor. If you would like more information on being a partner of Soul Purpose, call 304-922-2620 or email soulpurposebroadcast@gmail.com, subject line partner. Or you can write to Soul Purpose at P.O. Box 127, Bluefield, West Virginia 24701. And now back to Soul Purpose.
Hi, I'm Jay Giordano, and this is my new album, I Will Declare. For more information about me, music, and bookings, email me today at jgiordanomusic@gmail.com. You can also get this album on iTunes, and I pray that this blesses you.
Pastors Aaron and Christy Blankenship both have powerful testimonies of being saved, delivered, healed, commissioned, and called. They also have a unique passion and ability to present the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you would like to book them or host them at an event, please call 304-922-2620 or visit www.blankenshipministries.org.
When you're in the marketplace of healthcare, you have to know exactly whom and what you believe in. This lady knows in whom she trusts, and I absolutely trust her, not only her clinical expertise, but also her divine direction in God. Mary Jordan is a great friend of mine, and she is making waves on the clinical front in the marketplace.
Hi, I'm Mary Jordan, and I am Area Vice President of Clinical Operations for Amedisys Home Health. I've been a nurse for 14 years, and during that time, the Lord has allowed me to reach many people, and I wouldn't trade any minute of it. It's not all been rewarding, but it's been a tough climb, but I have enjoyed it for all these years. Because when people are down and need help, that's when you're there. That's when they need a home health nurse or a hospice nurse, and I've played many roles, and that's what we do. We go into the home and take care of the people and get a chance to witness when we can. I wish that I could tell myself again in the past, if I could go back in time, I would tell myself to trust in the Lord with all your heart. Because in the beginning, I didn't trust the Lord fully. I'd always kind of struggled with that and worried and keep myself up at night, and those are things that I don't want to do. And now that I've actually grown in the Lord and got a closer relationship with Him, I actually realize that all we need to do is like Hebrews chapter 4 says. If you read it, you need to rest in the Lord. When you have unbelief and worry, they go together and they stop your rest and your peace. And when you learn to go through that and overcome that and actually rest in the Lord and trust in Him and what He has for your life, you do fine. And you actually truly rest. And you know no matter what comes out or what the storms are, you're going to go to the other side. Make sure that your heart's in it first. Yes, people look at nursing as a money avenue, and it can be. It can be very rewarding that way. But you have to love what you're doing, and you have to have a heart for your patients. And you meet all kinds of patients. You might have good patients, you might have bad patients. They might cuss you one day, they might love you the next. Just know that they're all going through something, and their story's there, and just learn to listen to them and help take care of the patient. Help take care of the whole patient, not just their body. You also get to help take care of their soul. When I finally learned to trust the Lord and do what He asked me to do without questioning Him, He put me in several different roles, and I was at a prison. It was one of the first times that I can remember, and I worked the ward, the hospital ward, and I had several inmates on their deathbed that I was able to lead to the Lord, but right before they passed. And that right there was worth. I uprooted my son out of school. He was in the 10th grade, and of course he hated his mother for that, but it was well worth it. Just to reach one soul would have been worth it, but 3 souls that I know of gave their hearts to the Lord on their deathbed right before they passed. And that right there was worth it all. He gave us everything. And when he died, when He said it was finished, he didn't mean that our walk here was not going to be troublesome at times. He just meant that He's already made the way. He's paid the price. And all we have to do is learn to trust in Him and go to the other side and walk in perfect peace with the Lord. When you walk in perfect peace with the Lord, then you know that Him dying on Calvary is what it's all about. And He did that for us. We were not worthy until then, and He made us worthy, and that's what's so special about Him, is He loved us enough to do that for us, and He made this walk in this life to be special for us. And He'll give us everything, all of our heart's desires, and everything we need when we learn to align our faith and our beliefs with what He wants for us.
Pastors Aaron and Christy Blankenship both have powerful testimonies of being saved, delivered, healed, commissioned, and called. They also have a unique passion and ability to present the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you would like to book them or host them at an event, please call 304-922-2620 or visit www.blankenshipministries.org.
Hi, I'm Carmen Wagner, creator and author of The Wifehood. If you would be interested in learning more about The Wifehood, you can go to www.thewifehood.com. Also look at Facebook and Instagram, just simply titled The Wifehood. If you're interested in having me come to your church to speak to your women's group, please contact me at thewifehood@gmail.com. Thank you and have a great day.
Pastors Aaron and Christy Blankenship both have powerful testimonies of being saved, delivered, healed, commissioned, and called. They also have a unique passion and ability to present the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you would like to book them or host them at an event, please call 304-922-2620 or visit www.blankenshipministries.org.
Autism is a word that we hear a lot about these days because there's so many children who are falling on that spectrum. This person, I would dare say, is an expert. She's also an expert on being a wonderful person and just a best friend for life. Her name is Estella Baker Crabtree, and I know that you're going to love everything that she has to say.
Hi, my name is Estella Crabtree. I am the blessed mother of 3 boys. My oldest is 15, my middle child is 12, and my baby is 4. My 2 oldest children are on the spectrum. They have ASD disorders. My oldest one, he has the early diagnosis of Asperger's. They recently have taken that diagnosis away from the ASD series, and they have decided now it's all just a spectrum disorder. But Asperger's syndrome, back when they first started doing the diagnosis, was actually on the higher end of the spectrum. They have autistic tendencies, but their intellect and their disabilities are on the lower end. So we have one child who is extremely high functioning. Then our middle child is moderate on the spectrum. He was not qualified high enough because of his social and emotional skills that he could not reach the Asperger's diagnosis. He actually is incredibly intelligent, almost to the point of being ingenious. But his social and emotional skills, he's about 5 years behind everyone else that's his age. And like I said, he's going to be 12 in November, so he's on an average about 7 socially and emotionally. My youngest child, Jackson, is probably the light of our life. He has spina bifida and hydrocephalus. I was 5.5 months pregnant when I found out that I was pregnant with him. We did not know that we were pregnant for the simple reason that I had an endometrial ablation in the year 2010. So they told us that we no longer could have children. And we were blessed with 2 boys, so we were happy. Then along comes Jackson. And he, when I was diagnosed with my pregnancy, they told me at that point that I actually had a child that was gonna be myelomeningocele, which means that his back was completely open. All of the nerve endings and all of his spinal column was actually outside of his body when he was born. They told me that he would never walk, he would never talk, he would basically be a vegetable. He also had hydrocephalus, which is fluid on the brain. Back in the day, old people called it waterhead babies, and that's basically what my son had. His head was 3 times the size of a normal child's head at his gestational age. But When he was born, after we convinced the doctors, we went to probably 9 specialists, and they all told me that I needed to abort. It was number 1, you need to abort, he is killing you, he is not gonna make it, he's not gonna have a productive life. He will never be a citizen that can function on an everyday basis. He is going to be a hindrance to you and your children, and it's just going to be really, really hard. And my husband and I, we prayed, and we prayed so hard because we knew that God sent us a child when we were not supposed to have a child. So therefore, we knew that he was going to take care of it. And sure enough, he really took care of it. My son was born at 32 weeks. He was 8 weeks early. He weighed 4 pounds and 1.9 ounces. He was 14 inches long. He fit in the palm of my hand. His head was here and his little feet were here. And he was so tiny, we didn't really even know what to do because he was so little. He spent 3 months in the NICU at Roanoke Carilion, and they did surgery on him when he was 48 hours old to close the myelomeningeal, and the neurosurgeon came in and told me that he did everything that he could to reattach all of the nerve endings, but that he wasn't sure what type of function that he would have, and it was a learning process, and we would just have to wait and see as time went on what skills he would have and what feeling he would have and things like that, because we weren't really for sure and nobody could tell. So after the 3-month stay in the NICU, we were able to bring him home. He was on feeding tubes, oxygen, you name it, we had something for it. He was a very, very sick baby. He had to stay prone, which means he was laying on his stomach for 7 months of his life. He was not allowed to turn over. He was not allowed to be picked up. When I picked him up to feed him or anything like that, I had to lay him on my chest and lay down flat with him so that he could eat, and he turned his little head sideways and nursed. And they told us that he would never nurse because he wouldn't have that capability because of the brain damage that he had, it had suffered in the womb. And needless to say, he nursed. My son is now 4 years old. He can walk. He uses AFOs, which are leg braces that gives him the stability that he needs to be able to give him enough strength throughout the day to where he doesn't have to stay in his chair all day. So he now walks from about 8 o'clock in the morning until about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night before he hits the chair. And then he's in his chair for a couple hours before we go to bed if he gets really tired. Getting him back in the chair is a major ordeal because he does not like that, because now he has the skills to walk. So he walks, he speaks very fluently. My son has a vocabulary of about 1,200 words at 4 years old. And they're not little words, they're really big words. He has a very extensive vocabulary. He can understand what you're saying to him. He can respond. My son can do just about anything everybody else can do. Does he have developmental delays? Absolutely. He is behind, but we're working on that, and through therapy and lots of prayer. I'm talking major amounts of prayer. That is the only thing that got us this far. People prayed, and they prayed in groups. They prayed at church. They prayed for me in the hospital. A lady brought me a prayer shawl in the hospital, and that prayer shawl got me through times that I didn't think I would ever be able to get through. It's an amazing thing having went through what we've went through with Jackson and with Timothy and Christopher, to know that being a mother is the most wonderful gift that has ever been given to me. If you are considering abortion, please, I ask that you don't. You don't know what your child's life is going to be. Give that child a chance. If you can't give them the life that you think they deserve, let someone else.
Well, that's another sole purpose for the books. We hope you've loved it and that you've been tremendously blessed. Don't forget to call us or write and let us know how it's impacted you. Right here, where we're always running toward and walking in our sole purpose. Hello, again, I'm here with Pastor Lori Lavender, and this is her new book, her new baby, and it's called By the Hands of a Woman Named Grace. Now you can get this at onlyjustbelieve.org.
Yes.
And she has an audio CD 2-part set that goes along with it. You can get it at the same place.
Yes.
So now, do you have another email or something, another contact besides that website?
They can write to 4300 Raleigh LaGrange, and that's in Memphis, Tennessee, 38128. And you will just ask us about that book, and we'll get it right out to you.
You want this book, and you want this CD. You want the set. You can get them separate, I know.
Yes.
But you want this in your car. Just like I've talked about to everyone I've talked to. Once I put this in my car, I don't want to turn my car off because I don't want to turn this off. This will bless you as much as it's blessed me. So I'm expecting you to check with www.onlyjustbelieve.org.